So when the police killed Ricky Silent, they tried to put it like some Bloods killed him. And we wasn't buying it because we had witnesses and told us how they killed him and who killed him. So that was the biggest meeting that the Crips ever had since the Crips has been out, I can recall. The meeting that me, David, Mack, and Tookie called.
Did you guys ever meet at Will Rogers Park?
Yes, we had meetings at Will Rogers Park with the Black Peace Stone from Chicago.
T. Rogers?
Yeah, him and his organization. Because we were, certain hood, they were doing too much. They were starting to do too much, bringing a lot of attention, and it was starting to be senseless killing. Then when they started to section the organization of the Crips off, like they got it now, you got what? Now you got Raymond Crip, you got, Hoover was already in the mix, Big Warlock already had initiated that, but you got all other kind of 190 and all this, and they were starting to segregate themselves from one organization. And so they came down and was trying to talk to us about uniting this organization together and opening up on our own businesses, putting our businesses in our community like they had theirs.
Did you guys attend, the Watts Crips, did you guys attend any meetings at South Park?
South Park? Yeah. No, I've never went to any at South Park.
How about St. Andrews?
St. Andrews Park?
Yes.
One time.
Okay. How about Sportsman Park?
One time.
And Centinela Park?
Numerous of times.
Can you tell me about the Hickory Street Crips?
Right now?
Yeah, what do you know about them? No, not now, when they started or when they came out.
Well, that was actually, Hickory Street Crips was me.
So was Tyrone Tate the first Crip you knew in Jordan Down?
Well, he wasn't actually from the Jordan Down, he's from Hickory Street. Now, the Jordan Down had their own branch. Tyrone was the one who gave the influence to the Jordan Downs to become Crips. But Hickory was all by themselves when they first came out. It was HC, Hickory Crip, nothing else.
Okay, that's what Frog said.
Because I lived on Hickory, but I initiated from Hickory to the projects. But the Hickory Street was me. Santa Ana and Hickory, I lived right on the corner. That was me.
Okay, what was Hickory Street's borders? Can you give me the?
Well, actually, Hickory Street didn't have a border because I just gave it that name because that was my street. But my homeboys that came over there was from 105th and Wilmington, Howard, Peanut, Mario, Antonio, 106th, 105th, and right behind the Watchtower. So, but I just named it Hickory Street until I came up with a name for the projects.
Was it Jordan Down Crips when you did that?
Well, actually, I was in the makings of giving Jordan Down a name then because I went over there and I had to get my recruits together. So once I started facilitating all my time to the projects, then me and Howard Bunches, another brother they don't speak of, he's still living, that's my boy. Howard was the one we met, the tall brother on Long Beach Boulevard, that's Howard. And so we came up with the name, me, him, and Pee Wee came up with the name JDC.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Who was Pee Wee?
Pee
Wee was one of your dogs.
That was my lieutenant.
Okay. In Tookie's book, he calls him, I guess, the lieutenant or the general of the Imperial Corps.
No, JD.
Jordan Down.
Yeah, he was my lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah, he was up under me.
Who was the Crip Dogs?
The Crip Dogs was Big Tim. I was just telling you about Big Tim from right across country from the Bebops, Watts Playground. That's Big Tim. The Crip Dogs was Big Tim and them. This small little crew, but they was rough. When they needed whatever they needed, all they do is come my way and holler at me. They was reliable. They handled their business. They hold their little part of their hood. It wasn't big. It was just right there at the little park between Compton Avenue, where Pupaless is, and that was it. They couldn't go no farther because you got the Florencias. You had the area they was around there, the Florencia and the Bishops. So their support was really us because they were small. But that's the Crip Dogs. That was Big Tim now.
When did Front Street and Back Street come in the picture?
Oh, Front Street came out when they came out in the late 80s.
Late 70s.
Late 70s, I mean, Front Street. Late 70s. But that was Virgil Duncan tells them, little brother that started that. I forgot his name. His name will come to me in a minute. And the grandmother, she was about 80-something years old. She controlled all that right there with him. She was a gangster. Yeah. His Donut. His name was Donut. That's my boy, Donut.
And then Backstreet, when did they come into play?
Backstreet, about the same time.
I was going to ask you if you knew anything about 109th Street Crips.
109th Street Crips?
Yeah.
The one 109th Street Crips was Speedy, Orlando, behind Locke High School.
Okay, so you did know.
Yeah, that's Speedy. He got 42 to life.
Okay, I've never heard nobody mention it.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a newspaper article, and they was 109th Street Crips.
Yeah, right behind Locke High School. That was Speedy. Okay. My boy Speedy. He ran that. He got 42 years now. Okay. That's the only 109th I know, you know.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about a bunch of the smaller gangs that may have come later, just to see if you know anything about Hat Gang.
Yeah, that was Hat Gang. Yeah, that was my boy back there. Hat Gang, as a matter of fact, Hat Gang is right there right now for Compton Avenue, right behind the power lines over there. Boxer. That's my boy named Boxer, the Hat Gang crew back there.
Did you know anything about how the name came about?
You know, actually, Boxer just started it, the Hat Gang, because they wore somewhat like, not Ace Deuces, but Godfathers.
How about Home Street? Some new stuff?
That's some new stuff there, Home Street. That's new.
Blue Gate Mafia?
Yeah, that's my boys over here, up from Wilmington, right over here.
Franklin Square?
Yeah, youngsters, them youngsters, yeah.
How about 7th Street Watch?
7th Street Watch, yes, that's over. 7th Street Watch is right across Imperial, right over here.
When did you first learn of 10 Line Gangsters?
As a matter of fact, I knew them boys when they was babies. I know who their mama is.
How about Forest-Town Mafia?
Yeah, but we stay back there, Forest-Town on Wigan. So they fresh too, but they've been in existence just as long as Hat Gang been.
Okay. And you mentioned Mad Dog and Moto. Tell me who those guys are.
Mad Dog name was David, and he was the leader of the Q102, right there on 100 between 106, 103rd, 104th, and 105th in Avalon. Him and Mad Bull. That was his lieutenant. Mad Bull ran him. Moto was Mad Dog's brother. He got killed at the Embassy Suite up there. They set him up there. But that was his he was in pimping, but Mad Dog was a gangster. He was about your height.
What about PP and Johnny Ray? Did you know them?
Johnny Ray sound familiar.
You said earlier you knew Mack Thomas.
That's my boy, yeah.
Where did Mack hang out at?
Mack, basically, they live back here. What's that called where all the horses at back over there?
Farm Dog.
Richmond Farm. That's where he lived. But Mack grew up on 92nd and Juniper. And when he left Juniper, after staying there for so many years, he grew up with us, the Pygmies. We the Pygmies as well. So we all grew up 92nd and Juniper with Mack, Melvin, Henry, his brothers and them. Mack and them father moved them from over there, and they moved down by Success off of 103rd. And he wasn't kicking up nothing there. Well, he had a little crew over there. I forgot the name of that crew, but he left there after so many years, their father, and he went to Compton. They moved to Compton. That's when we became the CC Riders. But we've been knowing each other ever since we were around about somewhat 7, 8 years old, 10 years, 12 years old.
Did the Compton Crips start before or after the Jordan Down Crips?
Compton Crips was before.
So Mack left around the time you guys were Green Jackets?
Yes, that's when Mack left.
Okay. Did you mentioned all these meetings, and you mentioned the 5,000 members.
Yeah, it was about 5,000 of us.
Was it ever any meetings inside the Jordan Downs of Crips from other neighborhoods?
No, well, he just came out and hung out with us in the parking lot on the weekends. But this particular meeting that we had, it was about straight business.
You seem to know a lot of leaders of all the different gangs.
Oh yes, I I had a '64 Thunderbird, and out of everybody in my hood, when that kind of like, when I started it, I was the only one that had a car. So basically, I just ventured off, and when I became a Crip, I introduced myself to all the hoods, and I just started venturing out. That's how I know all the, matter of fact, the leaders, not just members and individuals. I dealt with known reputables.
So you just pulled up in neighborhoods, jumped out and introduced yourself?
With my age deuce on, my blue rag hanging out of my pocket, and my 4.5 on me, yeah, bottom line.
How about leaders of blood gangs or gangs such as the Bishops before Bloods?
Oh yeah, we spoke of Henry, top dog, Bishop Henry. What we're talking about, Caveman. We called him Caveman. I had a lot of respect for him, and he put the fear in a lot of chumps' heart because he had a lot of heart. Matter of fact, he came through the projects one night, and he had got into somebody shot his in his stomach, and his guts was hanging out. He had a fifth of wine in his hand, and my boys wanted to kill him. You can recall that. They wanted to kill him. No, y'all can't do this, because we grew up back there with him, and I've been knowing him. I've never did nothing to a person that didn't have it coming to him. That's me. And I've always respected him, And then I met Lorenzo, and from Piru, off 132nd, Lorenzo, and I forgot his other brother's name. Not Putin. It was Putin. Yeah, with Lorenzo and Putin. Well, at one of the Watch festivals, one night the police got at me, and it was two police who was trying to kill me. Them two, and they were there to back me up. They had all their boys with them, and I had a few with me, and they were there to back me up because the police came in plain clothesmen. They didn't have their uniforms on, and it was finna be some. So we finna hold court right there that night. So Lorenzo came and he backed me up. So that's how I met Lorenzo. He was tall, and I've been heard of Putin, and I met Putin. We was at Dudos when I met Putin. But Lorenzo, he was in the limelight a lot,
Did you know Salty?
Yeah, that was my boy. Salty, me and Salty and Karate Man Salty had a black Riviera, 72 Rivi dog, and Karate Man had a white 64 T-Bird just like mine. We saw meet up at Sentinel Park. That's when Patrice Rushen used to be on the keyboard, and we'd be out there drinking wine, and then they come to the Grandies, and also Bitter Dog Bruno. That was Mack Thomas' right-hand boy. And Mr. Neen and X, they lived upstairs right there in the Grandies, so we all meet there at the Grandies, Salty and Karate Man.
So you're familiar with Boot Hill?
Oh yeah, I tell you, we held Boot Hill off for 2 weeks from the National Guards. I get a call, Mac needed some assistance, and we came down. We blocked it all up, barricaded it, and had the news there, and they had to bring the National Guard, but we held it until they made it right.
Who kicked that off?
Cisco. He needed some help.
What was his problem with the Pyrus? Was that him that caused that friction, or?
Yeah, well, Cisco, he was, unlike me. I grew up under structure. The boys like George Washington from 103rd, I grew up around all the hustlers, players, pimps, but I still had the gangster mentality. But that allowed me to be versatile in thinking and thought. I had a little more wisdom. Mac was a straight blood killer. He wouldn't drink red Kool-Aid, none of that. He was serious about his game, and that's what page he was on, And it wasn't a issue, it was just a beef thing, a turf thing. That was it. He was serious about being a down-to-earth rip. That was him,
I missed the name Bobby Lavender. Did you know?
Yeah, I knew Bobby Lavender. That's my boy, Bobby Lavender. Yeah. Yeah, I knew Bobby Lavender. Good boy. Good people, man. Good people.
In 1982, they shut down the Watts Festival. Was you around when that happened?
1982?
Yes.
No, I was locked up. I got out 84.
What year did you go to prison?
I went to prison in 81.
Where'd you do your time at?
I went to Chino first. Well, actually, that's where you go. And they sent me to Soledad North.
Was you guys having problems with the Mexicans or BGF?
No, well, actually, like I said, not with the BGF, you know, because, you know, the BGF's, they're organization. You know, they're not gonna make no horrendous or horrific moves just because somebody from another state or different area code. They're about business. Yeah, they was about business. But if anybody stepped out of line against the code and caused havoc to the institution, just miscellaneous, now you might hear from them. But other than that, the BGFs, I commemorated, the Brothers of Black. And they're not really with black on black crime up in the pens.
So did they welcome Crips with open arms?
Well, those who had more enlightenment than the other one. Yes, I was one of them that they gave plenty of respect to because, you know, I was very knowledgeable, and, you know, and I held, when I got to the pen, I ran to some of my boys, my homies there. I held the line with respect and with wisdom and with knowledge, you know. It wasn't just a random thing with me when something jumped. We had to see what it was about, how we gonna handle it, and what to do about it. And I was one of them, I had a thinking mind. So I had a lot of respect from them.
How did you guys,
Big Bosco and all them. I knew all the BGFs, half the BGFs.
how did you guys treat hooks that came to prison back then?
Well, actually, a hook had to grow up to be a fishing line, you know, to put it like that. But the only ones that got treated bad was three things that I'm zero tolerance even with today. Child molester, a snitch, and somebody that thinks he's a woman when he's a man. I mean, I'm not the one that holds judgment on that, but I just prefer not those issues to be in my life, in my pattern, my path, or in my surroundings.
Yeah, you got the right to do that.
Yes.
You got on a veteran's hat.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in the Army or Marine?
I was in the Army, 82nd Airborne, Fort Benning, Georgia. I served 3 years, 19 in the bush.
What year was that?
That was around about, I missed the Vietnam. Well, actually, I was in South Cambodia before I got out of high school.